The following is a live copyrighted presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for RadioLawTalk.com with your host, Frederick Penny, attorney at law. And now, RadioLawTalk.com.
Welcome to Radio Law Talk. It's a beautiful day. Todd, Denise, and I are just sitting here relaxing with our feet up, talking about the law, enjoying our time together. We have missed each other. We have not been together in at least a few weeks. We are like the little Three Musketeers. I don't know what we would do without each other. We have a lot of fun here, but it's entertaining, but most of all, it is informative. You're going to learn a lot of things that we're going to discuss. And I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of times we nail it. But remember, it's important to note, do not take our advice and use it for your case. Every case is different. We are not dispensing legal advice. We're talking about general topics of law. Seek a local lawyer. And remember, the best place to use it is where, Todd?
At Thanksgiving or around the dinner table when somebody says, you know, they said, and you can say, well, I don't know who they are, but I know who Radio Law Talk is. And Radio Law Talk said, and then you'll win your arguments.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. But usually use Denise's name rather than yours and mine. Right?
Most likely. That's much better to do.
Yes. And you can call us at 855-LAW-RADIO. Remember, there's multiple times that we're heard. This is live and it's replayed, and we appreciate all the affiliates that carry us. But if you want to talk to us after the show, you can email us at info@radiolawtalk.com, and we get that, and we do the best we can to get back to you as soon as possible. We love to hear you, and we love to hear the topics that you want us to bring up. In fact, sometimes we can't, bring up the topics you ask, but hey, if you say, hey, here's an important topic, let's talk about this, let's go for it. And in fact, I had one the other day that came in that I wish we could talk about, but it just didn't apply nationwide. So we're going to talk about the lawsuit. Katy Perry's lawsuit's very interesting. It talks about, again, it's another copyright infringement lawsuit, and we talk about a lot of these because a lot of them are coming up. Because why? Because there's big money in it potentially. We're going to talk about Woody Allen's $68 million lawsuit against Amazon. There is some interesting information that's come out about that. But the most important thing we're going to talk about at the beginning of this segment, after our case or no case, is these robocalls. What do you do with these robocalls? Those of you out there listening are probably going, I'm getting these robocalls. What's the law? How does it apply to us? What do I do? And we're going to talk about some actual events that occurred, how, or what should have been done. And if you want to talk to us or tell us about a situation, call us at 855-LAW-RADIO or tweet us at Radio Law Talk. But before we get into that, we get into the most famous thing that everybody loves and adores, and that's case or no case. Go ahead.
Now it's time to play Case or No Case.
Yay!
All right, here we go. Last time we told you about the magic Victorian electric belts. Now I have a case for you involving your dog. Well, not your dog, but some dogs. A woman in, where is this? Here he is. Okay, the woman in Connecticut, another Connecticut case, said that she thought she was taking out a $3,000 loan to buy a dog at a pet store in the year 2015. Courtney Peterman was her name. She signed a contract. She made her first payment, $185, took the dogs home. 18 months later, she said, good, the loan's paid off. She called the bank and said, how come you keep sending me notices? They said, well, you got 20 more payments to go. She said, what? They said, it wasn't really a loan, it was a lease. You leased the dogs. So now the lease is up, and if you want to keep the dogs, you'll have to pay us a total, including what you've already paid, of $5,600 for a dog she thought she was paying $3,000 for. And so I'm going to ask you, case or no case, and I'm going to start with you, Mr. Penny, because Ms. Dirks went first last time. So case or no case, Fred?
That's a difficult one. It's a case. But I know there's all these laws concerning loans. and again, that's not my area of practice, but there's so many laws when you loan someone some money that have to be followed, disclosures, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know and understand all those laws, and that's why I do personal injury. Denise Dirks is a family law attorney, and Todd Cuden handles, he's a former prosecutor and now is a criminal defense lawyer. But you know what? I'm going to say it's a case, and the lady prevails because I think they just did not inform her of issues, and you probably can't put a loan on a lease of some sort of an animal. So there's some sort of law that applies there that I don't know, but that's the most logical thing. Case, and the lady wins that owns the dog.
All right, so leasing a dog. Mr. Cunin, what say you?
I didn't think you said lease. I thought you said leash. And of course I'm going to get a leash for my dog.
Naturally, Your Honor.
Well, I think, from a substantive standpoint about the ins and outs of this law, I agree with Fred. Boy, this is so far outside of my wheelhouse. I'm just going to have to try to play statistics and strategy and divine the tea leaves here and get my Cal Hunter voodoo doll and see if that works and play Karnak and based on all that, because look, if this is a nefarious thing on the part of the bank and she wins, well, there's nothing unique about this. Yeah, banking institution did something stupid. Shocker, not really big news. If she loses, well, that's really big, but I don't think she'd lose on this one, because I think the bank probably didn't tell her. So I'm going to say, because it can't be either of those two, no case.
Huh. There you go. All right. Now, the lovely Ms. Dirks, what say you? Case or no case? Can you lease a dog in Connecticut without knowing it?
Well, you can't in California. So that's absolutely true. You cannot lease animals from a pet store, from anything. You cannot. It leases for animals, certain animals.
That is very good knowledge. However,
Yes.
you can lease dairy cows and other working stock, but you may not lease pets in California.
And exactly why I think that it's not a law in Connecticut. It's not illegal there yet. So I think that what happened is that it's coming from Cal's imagination, using the scenario of California, but just placing the facts in Connecticut. So I say it is a scenario, but it's not a case.
Fred is the only one out on the limb.
Left Fred hanging out there.
Oh, I might be in trouble.
Well, it's interesting because one of the things about leasing animals, I know about dairy cows. We were in the dairy business when I was a kid in Idaho. And an uncle there, one of the things he did to make money, he was a money lender guy, like a private lender, and he would lease people dairy cattle all the time.
That's cool.
They couldn't afford to buy the thing, so they'd do it for 3 years, pay him the money, they'd sell the money, give him, it was a pretty lucrative thing for him, my understanding is. But as far as pets, why, that's a whole different thing, isn't it?
Well, I've heard the phrase often said in a different context, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? Well, I guess now it's, why buy the cow when you can get a reasonable lease for about $3,000, and at the end, if you don't want to make the balloon payment, you just return it.
Yeah, when you can lease the cow. What's the big thing? Right?
Yeah.
Well, listen, I know we don't have time to discuss it, but we want to tease it a little bit and let Cal come back and tell us the true story of the cow. Well, no, the dog, and how it applies to cattle.
It was just one dog, right?
2 dogs.
2 dogs, because I heard you say dogs a couple of
This was
times.
in 2015, so
Yeah.
this is recent.
Yeah.
So that's why I think you guys are wrong, because don't forget, a lot of case or no case is determining cow's strategery.
There wasn't a red fern growing somewhere, or was it?
Well, I like the 2015 thing. So, and it's in Connecticut, and he said and last hour he said it'll be Connecticut next hour.
Yeah.
So for those reasons, I think I'm right. So
Well, we'll see.
we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. The answer to Case or No Case and much more Radio Law Talk are coming right up right here. Don't go away.
All advertising for legal services on Radio Law Talk is strictly for the state or states in which the advertiser is licensed. For more information, go to radiolawtalk.com.
I am Cameron Levitt, Chief Operating Officer of Concussion Medical Clinic. California's first concussion medical clinic is now open. As concussions increase each year, there has never been a greater need for concussion specialists. Our physicians at Concussion Medical Clinic are board certified in pediatric neurology and sports medicine and have partnered with universities, hospitals, and rehab clinics to expedite the recovery process. Simply put, we are elevating the standard of care. When you need an expert concussion opinion or concussion care, visit concussionmedicalclinic.com to schedule your appointment.
Jason Ross back here with Fred Penny, managing attorney from Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. Now, Fred, what type of cases are you dealing with now, and what sets you apart?
Jason, we help people with all types of personal injury cases. We're former insurance company trial lawyers. We understand the other side, which gives us a distinct advantage over our competition. Remember, we don't get paid unless we win.
That's Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers with locations throughout California. For a free consultation, go to pennylawyers.com or give them a call, 1-800-616-4LAW. That's PENNEY lawyers.com.
Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they're able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less. 800-263-2610. 800-263-2610. That's 800-263-2610.
This is Denise Dirks. We can represent clients in divorce, legal separation, child and spousal support, custody, termination of parental rights, step-parent adoptions, guardianships, and even conservatorship matters. Call 1-877-886-7186 for a consultation.
The law offices of Denise L. Dirks provide family law services in Northern California. When the law affects your family, call 877-886-7186. The family of attorneys at Denise L. Dirks is here to help.
Hi, I'm Frederick Penny of Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. I bet you're tired of hearing lawyer commercials, so just relax and listen to music for a few seconds. When you or a family member has been injured, call 800-616-4LAW or see us at pennyandassociates.com. See, that wasn't so bad.
All right, guys, we need to have you read some lines for our disclaimer promo. But first, can anybody tell me what a disclaimer is? All right, then. Well, Denise, you go ahead.
Non uti concilius me auriere proquestis purpurium juris consult.
Latin, that's a nice touch. Thank you, Denise. Next time we'll try it in English if that's okay. Fred, how about you?
Cal, I don't want to read all this. Can't we just tell the people that we're discussing general legal issues and they should hire their own attorney instead of relying on what we have to say here?
Well, we could, I guess. Chris?
I'm not going to be there anyway. Why have me do it?
Let's have Todd do it.
Me? Read disclaimers? Why, I couldn't. The information you hear on Radio Law Talk is general.
The preceding promo was for entertainment purposes only. And if you want true legal advice, contact your own lawyer. Just a tip from your friends at Radio Law Talk.
Be sure to read our disclaimers.
Are you serious?
Time to get back to Radio Law Talk on radiolawtalk.com and on your favorite radio station.
All advertising for legal services on Radio Law Talk.
You're listening to Radio Law Talk, and yes, I had this all set up perfectly, so if you'll... Boy, what did I do? Fred, I had this all set up. I had the whole deal set up, ready to play this important thing right here. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Stand by. Your mics aren't on. Hold on, please. Here we go.
IRS is filing lawsuit against you. To get more information about this case file, please call immediately on our department number 202-470.
Yeah, this is Cal is running an example of a typical type of robocall that comes in to individuals, and a lot of times it's senior citizens that are being scammed. What are the laws on robocalls? What can you do? Recently, a judge awarded $229,000 and $229,500 on a case.
We're going to talk about this after Case or No Case, right?
Yeah, we are.
Yes.
Yeah, we are.
I'm so excited to talk about that because I got a scam call already this morning.
Okay, that's right. I don't know what Cal's doing. He's playing scam call. We don't know what we're doing.
IRS is filing lawsuit against you.
Well, this is Denise's scam. I called her number and played this.
All right, let's finish up the Case or No Case.
All right,
then.
so the issue is, can you lease a pet in Connecticut? And if so, under what terms and conditions can you lease a pet? Because, you get into a little dog store and you find out how much that doggy in the window is, to quote a very old song from the 1950s by Patti Page. And they go, oh, well, it's only $1,500, but he needs a playmate. Oh, you want two of them, don't you? Oh, well, of course I do. Well, just sign right here, $3,000, no problem, right? Well, here's the problem. Those of you who said it was a case, may I see by a show of hands?
Fred Penny. Yes, Fred Penny wins. I knew it was a case. That's a real case, ladies and gentlemen. Real case.
Yes, a spokesperson for the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals says she believes that pet store owners are purposefully dangling low monthly payments to customers in exchange for questionable leases. Officials at the FTC said pet leasing has been on the agency's radar for about 3 years, but it's not illegal on a federal level. They recommend that consumers read these contracts carefully. Last year, Nevada and California banned pet leasing, not stock animal leasing, but pet leasing. And New York
So I was right.
is expected to become the third state to ban the practice. And so that means, unfortunately, that even though Denise got that... pets. Yeah. So unfortunately, even though Denise knew that California did not make it legal, Fred got 2 points on that round, Denise got none, Todd got none. And so our score right now is Frederick Penny 29, Denise Dirks 23, and Todd Cunin 15.
And we're going to 50 points. First one to 50 points. First one to 50 points. Why do we bring this up, ladies and gentlemen out there? First one to 50 points. The other two have to buy steak dinner and lobster, or they have to make it at their home for us.
Or bring a barbecue to the studio.
Yes. Well, thanks for listening to Case or No Case.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is Case or No Case.
Yeah, so Cal and I did jump the gun, didn't we? We were so excited to talk about robocalls that we jumped the gun. Now, let me tell you, robocalls are happening all over the place. We're going to talk about the laws about it, what you can or can't do. A judge recently awarded $229,500 on a case, and that's why Denise gave me the look like, you got to finish Case or No Case. And you're exactly right. But Todd's got a good story about actually what happened to him. Todd, how did this all come about?
So, this whole idea, we talk about the cases during the week, and this is what came up. I got a call about 3 days ago. And the call came in and somebody telling me that my Social Security number had been suspended. I didn't know that a Social Security number could be suspended. That was news to me.
Unfortunately, she's calling a lawyer,
yes,
and a guy that's a half comedian,
and a smart aleck.
So
I said, well, absolutely, I want to know what's going on, and I figured I knew this was not above board when she went to verify my zip code, and she says, is your zip code 95,677? I was like, well, that's not how we usually mention zip codes here, but okay, I'll play along.
Why,
that's
yes,
what it is.
It is.
Yes, it is. Right. So she went through and told me that my Social Security number had been used to open up no fewer than 25 bank accounts, and that those bank accounts had been used to funnel money to drug cartels and also to finance terrorism.
Huh.
And then she hit me with the hook when she said, now, sir, did you open these bank accounts to funnel money to drug cartels and finance terrorism? At which point I said, Yes, I did.
The IRS is filing lawsuit against you. To get more information,
Todd, which he didn't, by the way, just for the...
I didn't, but I told her that I did, and there was dead silence. And you could tell her supervisor was touched. She goes, "Sir, I want to make sure, are you saying that you opened these bank accounts to funnel money to drug cartels and to support terrorist activity?" And I said, "Yes, I was bored."
The IRS is filing lawsuit against you. To get more information.
So did she hang up on you?
Well, she stammered a little bit and then said, "Well, we'll send you something in the mail," because apparently people who open 25 bank accounts to do all this are entitled to some sort of notice, and I have received nothing since.
But she should have said, "We're sending the police over."
And that also is a common scam. The more common one that people get are things like the call that comes, and tragically these target the elderly, all right? And the call goes like this: "Ma'am, there's a warrant out for your arrest because you didn't show up for jury duty, or you got a ticket or something, and the officer is on the way to arrest you, but if you can get us money, I'll call the officer and tell him not to show up." And it freaks people out, and they get suckered every day.
The IRS is filing lawsuit against you.
Yep, that's right.
So,
that too. IRS, by the way, is a big hammer.
Yep.
Yes.
Big hammer.
Yes. And so one of my elderly relatives was called, and my kids, they travel a lot. So the person told
All
me
right, we got to wrap it up. We're going to come back and follow up with this in a second.
Yeah, I want to hear the story, Denise. Sorry, but we're out of time. Don't go away.
Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax. Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they were able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less.
800-263-2610. 800-263-2610. That's 800-263-2610.
Know someone with a drinking or drug problem? Learn how to get sober after we share these stories.
I was 35 with 2 beautiful children when my life and addiction started to spiral out of control. After my divorce, I went into a depression cycle and started drinking more often and using prescription drugs. After my second DWI and arrest, my ex-husband threatened to take our children away from me.
I was 17 when I became addicted to heroin and meth. I thought I could quit on my own, but I couldn't. It hit me when I was arrested.
Get sober now. Your private insurance may cover costs, and we'll get you here. It's simple. Just call Elite Rehab Placement right now. Please, don't wait. Your life matters to us. 800-918-1376. 800-918-1376. 800-918-1376. That's 800-918-1376.
Warning, don't let your business get left behind in what is likely to be the biggest economic boom in recent history. If you need to build for your business to grow, call General Steel today for a pre-engineered steel building designed for your needs. No wasted space. Steel prices are expected to rise, but you can still lock in your price on a General Steel building. And you can still save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. As much as half. But you must call now. If you need a church building, office, warehouse, warehouse, manufacturing space, retail space, or more. Call General Steel today. You can still get the General's 50-year structural warranty and General Steel quality, all at a price you can afford. So don't let rising steel prices put your project out of reach and stop you from making your company great.
800-617-9312. 800-617-9312. 800-617-9312. That's 800-617-9312.
I knew I had a problem, but I didn't know what to do about it.
I tried counting calories, I took pills, eating, and then more eating.
I really wanted to stop, but nothing could make me stop.
At one point, it was so bad that I just felt like giving up.
I felt so alone.
Like nobody else could possibly understand.
We understand. We're Overeaters Anonymous, and we have helped thousands of people just like you. People who want to stop their compulsive eating and start living a healthy, rewarding life.
Overeaters Anonymous, help me get my life back.
Now I eat in a way that's healthy and good for me.
I never realized what I was missing out on.
With OA, I am living again and loving it.
Start living the life you deserve with help from Overeaters Anonymous. Find us on the web at oa.org.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier.
My daughter Brooklyn was also a motivation for me to go back to school.
Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone. I feel like if I didn't have anyone to push me, I wouldn't even bother to do it. I got one milestone down the drain, and now I got to work on the next. I see the future is really bright for me. I feel like it doesn't matter the age, as long as you go back and get it done. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
No one gets a diploma alone. You have more support than you realize. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Radio Law Talk. I like that show.
This is Radio Law Talk. And now, back to the show.
Yeah, before we went on break, Denise, you were telling us that you want to tell us a quick story about a robocall issue.
Yeah, I had one of my elder family members received a phone call saying that my son was in Mexico, had been arrested, and that he needed to have $1,000 to get out, and he was asked by my son to call her and ask for it, that he couldn't get in touch with his parents. And so she was ready to write the check or to make the the payment over the phone with a credit card, and thank goodness she thought enough to call my husband first. So when she called him, my husband said, no, he's not in Mexico, he's in school right now, and there's no way that this is real. And so thank goodness she didn't get scammed, but they were trying really hard.
One of the things to be careful, especially with the elderly, and even not just the elderly, but their grandkids, is their use of social media. Here's the scenario. We've seen this happen. I used to prosecute elder abuse, and this is the scenario. You got a kid who puts all this stuff all over Instagram, Facebook, and stuff, and he talks about the trip he's taking to Cabo or to Cozumel or to Mexico, and he doesn't have his friends list private, and somebody gets on there and says, oh, Junior's going to Mexico. Hey, there's Junior's grandmother, and I'll be danged, I got her phone number on Facebook. So, now she knows he's there, right? All somebody has to do with that information is pick up the phone and call and say, he's down here. And she thinks, well, I know he was going, and so I'll help out. And you know what? Nobody is any the wiser because they ship it via Western Union. And if you don't stop that payment via Western Union within 24 to 48 hours, you're never getting it back.
Right, and a lot of times when elders have been scammed, they're so embarrassed about the scam that they don't want to tell people.
Right.
And they're very easy prey for these robocalls.
And usually a lot of it is like $1,000, and they say it's not worth $1,000 for me to embarrassed. And that's a lot of money to some, but a lot they're saying, hey, it's only they're not going to fight over $1,000 and go tell people and look stupid.
Besides, they're never going to get it back.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So
I mean, the money's gone. I mean, if you made a mistake, the money's now out of country.
That's right.
I mean, I've done a lot of stories on that. The cops say, well, what do you want us to do? They're in
Bangladesh.
they're out of the sea. We're out, beyond the sea. What do you want from us?
Yeah.
Right?
So the general rules is this thing called the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. So just so those of you who are out there that know, here's the general rules. There's a lot of different scenarios and exceptions. We're not going to go in deep detail. Again, look it up yourself or talk to a local attorney. But generally, the solicitors cannot call your house before 8 a.m. or after 9 p.m. They must honor that there's a company-specific do not call list for customers. Don't forget, you can be on the company do not call list or the national do not call list. If they call and you say, take me off your call list, they have to take you off the call list. And what you want to do is you want to keep a note. This is the time they called. This is the phone number that called, and I told them not to call me back and take me off the list. That's the other thing. Also, they can't use automated dialing or pre-recorded voices without your permission. However, there are a few exceptions we're going to get to in a second. Also, this applies to your cell phone without your permission. They cannot do it on your cell phone without your permission. Now, here's some exceptions. So one exception is if it has to do with political ads or political groups, there's exceptions there, and there's and there's options with nonprofit can use recordings to some degree. But you have to look in the details of those options. But
the big thing on cell phones now is spoofing you with what looks like a local number.
Right.
And then they say, congratulations, thank you for staying at a hotel you've never stayed at.
Right.
And it's all pre-recorded. And so you hit the number that says, take me off your list, and you'll get the same call 4 or 5 times in the same day, but from a different number.
Right.
So apparently they think they're running around the law that way. Is that possible?
Yeah, apparently they're always trying to get ahead of the law, and they're always trying something. A lot of times, don't forget, these aren't local people that are calling. They're calling from offshore. So that's another thing. By the way, if they are found liable, and you can find them and sue them and get some money from them, it's between $500 and $1,500 per unauthorized call.
Wow.
Wow.
Our case last week was a lady in Nebraska. Furniture company called. She won $560,000 from this company, kept harassing her, even though she was paying her bill on time and so on. So every call she made a note, and it ended up being $1,500 a call or whatever. She got $560,000.
Wow, that's a lot.
There was some.
Yeah, no, I was. The FTC has won some pretty big cases recently. There's a sham charity that was called Veterans of America, and they got them to where they can no longer do robocalling at all or assist anybody else in robocalls. The same thing against 3 individuals and Point Blank Media. And they now are precluded from doing any kind of robocalling or assisting any other business from doing that. So most of these are cease and desist kind of things where they win that restraint. Against Net Solutions, there's 3 defendants involved in that matter. They cannot provide any supplies, no auto dialers anymore to any company. That's it. And then you're talking about and they have to also pay $1.35 million, which is a big win. The last one that's very recently out was Higher Goals Marketing. They operated a credit card debt relief kind of a scheme that was a sham scheme. And there was another case that came down that said you can't do that. So they won against this company as well.
So the question is, what can you do to protect yourself? And specifically, what I'm going to focus on here is, what can you do to protect the elderly, family members and whatnot? And I've got a couple of suggestions. First, look, you're not going to stop these calls from coming in. It's going to happen, and folks are going to get scammed. The first suggestion I have is, if somebody does get taken advantage of, the last thing you really want to do is scold them with the, what were you thinking? How come you didn't do this? It's not going to change anything. It's not going to get the money back. But what it will do is intimidate your family members from coming to you in the future if they know they're going to get chewed out because of something they did here. So that's just my first suggestion. The second suggestion that I have, there are things, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. There are already things in place legally. A lot of financial institutions have a responsibility if they see something suspicious coming in, like the person, I was aware of one person that got this scam, and they went to one financial institution to get the money to pay the scammer, and I think it was Walmart they went to. They wouldn't pay. They wouldn't let her buy the stuff because they recognized it as a scam, and that's great that people will do that. But another suggestion that I have is this. If you have a friend or a family member, somebody who is a lawyer, okay, you may want to approach them to see if you can retain them for a nominal amount for the sole purpose of being able to give any robocaller who calls the number of your attorney, call them, I'm represented. 99.99% of the calls will never be made to the attorney. But this is what you can know if you suspect it's a scam. If somebody calls you saying that you are potentially guilty of criminal activity and you say, I'm represented, call them, they can't keep talking to you. They have to call your attorney. And if they keep talking to you, you know it's not legit. If it is legit, they'll call the attorney, and then you and your family member or friend can work that out, representation. But it's an easy way to take the judgment off of your plate and put it somewhere else to nip it in the bud.
I also think that you need to go to the National Do Not Call Registry. That is you can report unwanted calls. They'll get to the FTC, hopefully. You can verify that you're registered there, and you can register your phone there or your relatives' phones there. That's really important because it has a link that sellers and telemarketers can go to see if you're on that list. And if you are and they call you, they know it's a crime.
Right.
And that's really important.
Here's a way that other people do it that's even funnier, I think. Don't forget those robocall revenge people out there. Go to YouTube. It's fun to listen to. Robocallers or individual, you could kind of find where they are. They're able to find them. They call into their sales force, and they try to keep them on the phone as long as possible. Because don't forget, these guys get paid or gals get paid by the amount of money they bring in or by the amount of people they land. And to keep them on the phone for a long period of time by letting them really think that you are the real person is just hilarious. And they get so mad, and it's just fun. So anyway, that's one way to follow up on it. We're going to be back. We're going to talk about Katy Perry's Dark Horse. That is one of her biggest songs of all time. They're claiming was copied from a Christian rap song, and the verdict just came out. We're going to discuss it. We'll be back.
Stay tuned. More Radio Law Talk is on the way right here, right now, after this.
All advertising for legal services on Radio Law Talk is strictly for the state or states in which the advertiser is licensed. For more information, go to radiolawtalk.com.
If you're one of those independent people who wants your own business and you love food service, we just might have a great opportunity for you. Iceberg Drive-Ins. Iceberg is famous for its thick shakes and delicious food. We lend you our supply chain and expertise, and you can potentially have a thriving, successful, fun business that your customers will love. Iceberg Drive-Ins has some prime areas available right now, so if you're interested, get in touch with us right away. Go to icebergdrivein.com and click on the Contact Us button. Iceberg Drive-In, ready to grow with you.
Jason Rosbach here with Fred Penny, managing attorney from Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. Now, Fred, what type of cases are you dealing with now, and what sets you apart?
Jason, we help people with all types of personal injury cases. We're former insurance company trial lawyers. We understand the other side, which gives us a distinct advantage over our competition. Remember, we don't get paid unless we win.
That's Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers with locations throughout California. For a free consultation, go to pennylawyers.com or give them a call, 1-800-616-4LAW. That's PENNEY lawyers.com.
This is Denise Dirks. We can represent clients in divorce, legal separation, child and spousal support, custody, termination of parental rights, step-parent adoptions, guardianships, and even conservatorship matters. Call 1-877-886-7186 for a consultation.
The law offices of Denise L. Dirks provide family law services in Northern California. When the law affects your family, call 877-886-7186. The family of attorneys at Denise L. Dirks is here to help.
I am Cameron Levitt, Chief Operating Officer of Concussion Medical Clinic. California's first concussion medical clinic is now open. As concussions increase each year, there has never been a greater need for concussion specialists. Our physicians at Concussion Medical Clinic are board certified in pediatric neurology and sports medicine and have partnered with universities, hospitals, and rehab clinics to expedite the recovery process. Simply put, we are elevating the standard of care. When you need an expert concussion opinion or concussion care, visit concussionmedicalclinic.com to schedule your appointment.
The cost of getting rid of garbage is high, and recycling products is lucrative. If you're a business or know of a business that needs an individual compactor or baler, call Northwest Compacting at 888-201-0911. If you already have an industrial compactor, baler, or shredder and need service, don't forget to call Northwest Compacting at 888-201-0911. Northwest Compacting, your full-service industrial compacting and baling company. Read more about them at northwestcompacting.com.
I've got to get my car washed. This dirt, it just won't do. But I don't have no time today. I don't know what I do.
Man, I know this place right down the road. Quick, quack, car wash. Hop inside, let's take a ride and watch this cat and shine. Just come and see, I guarantee your ride will steal the show. Come on, quick, quack, car wash. Don't drive that dirty car. Quick, quack, car wash. They'll have you looking.
Life is full of bittersweet transitions. It's difficult to know how these changes will impact us over time. For some people, difficult transitions like retirement, divorce, or loss of a loved one can hit harder than expected and may contribute to feelings of hopelessness or even thoughts of suicide. The risk of suicide is even higher for men over 50 who served our country. Guys like me. That's why support from friends and family makes such a big difference. Every day, your actions could help save a life. Together, we got this. Learn how you can help save a life at veteranscrisisline.net.
This is Radio Law Talk with Frederick Penny.
So we're talking about the lawsuit against Katy Perry by a guy by the name of Flame. His name's Marcus Gray. He's a Christian rap artist that claims 5 years before Katy's big famous Dark Horse song came out that his song basically sounded the same, and she copied his song in order to make this big hit. And yeah, this is his.
This is actually
Yes.
both of them together,
Yes.
laid over the top of each other.
Right.
So it's pretty interesting because rhythmically and even the key is the same.
You know what it is?
Yeah, that's Katy.
And he's on the front. So they're actually laid right over the top of each other.
Right.
So this is... Go ahead, Denise.
I just think that because now we have technology to see, so that they can show that type of thing too. So you're not only can hear it, but you could visualize it as well.
On a waveform, right?
Yes.
It's called waveform editing, and you put multiple tracks on top of each other and look right at them. But listen to this tone and the rhythm, and that's what they were contending, was the tone and rhythm. Because there's no key to the song. It's just a kind of a rap song. There's no musical key, but hers has one. So you hear him rapping, you hear her boom, 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 and oh, but it's the same track is what these plaintiffs allege, and they won. Yeah, right? Didn't they?
Yeah, they're very, very. I guess I hear it. I didn't see it at first or hear it at first.
When I heard them separately, I didn't get it.
All right, let's.
Yeah,
If you can, I want to hear his. We'll just key it up in a minute while you talk about this. I want to hear his separately because that's still a little bit. You can hear it, side by side to some degree. But I want to hear his.
What's the name of his song?
The name of his song is called
Joyful Noise.
Joyful Noise by Flame. So anyway, he brought a lawsuit in federal court in Los Angeles, and the jury this week held that Katy Perry and Capitol Records did, to some degree, copy this Christian rap artist's song that had been made approximately 5 years before. Then they do what's called in criminal it's called a penalty phase. They call it a penalty phase here, but generally it's the damages phase is what we call it. So the damages phase just came down. And do you have that ready to key up? Okay, listen to it now.
So this is just him. And I think it was more difficult to perceive until they put the other song on top of it. But listen to just the rhythm. That boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? That bass drum pattern.
Does it do that? What?
Let's talk about it.
Hold on. Wait, keep going.
Yeah.
Your boy's been a Christian quite a few years. Victory and faith, but
so it's really the first part that it follows.
Well, it actually rhythmically follows the whole thing, but So here's the.
Yeah, that's the same. That sounds like the Katy Perry.
But they slowed this down. Katy Perry slowed this down. Listen, it's slower. Right?
You know what it is.
And then here comes the Katy Perry song. That's hers.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah.
I watched on YouTube an individual that actually was a piano player that played the notes in each, and the first notes are the same exact notes. They're the same exact notes, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But so anyway, what came down recently, like Friday, was it Friday? They came down with the actual damages amount, which is $2.78 million paid to the rapper Flame, who, by the way, why is it, Todd, we always say, Todd mentions this, they're bringing this up more than the $2.78 million? Why is it more important than the $2.78 million that the rapper Flame brings this lawsuit?
Well, because by bringing the lawsuit, it increases the attention to his original song. And I'm telling you, if you could track the iTunes sales or the sales of those, they're going to go up. The number of people that looked for Joyful Noise to listen to, it's going to go up. It's a marketing technique.
We did it. We looked at it. I looked at it. I would have never looked at it unless he brought this lawsuit. I listened to it probably 4 times and tried to figure it out. Apparently, $500,000 of it is going to be Katy Perry that has to pay, which to her, she's worth what? And what did you say, Todd? About
$330 million and change.
And that song, the song Dark Horse by Katy Perry, they're estimating brought in over $41 million.
So I have a question for you, because I don't know the answer, and I thought I did. If Katy Perry continues to sing the song and make sales on Dark Horse, is this rap artist going to get a piece of that?
I don't know. That's what I was looking for. I couldn't find that.
If they're saying that this is his and the jury has come down, and assuming this survives the appeals process, and that's going to happen, look, she's playing something that's essentially not her original work, and so my guess is there's going to be some sort of an arrangement between her and the original artist for use of that going forward, so that they can play it in venues when she's playing it live. Because can you imagine? I wouldn't want to be Flame or whatever his name is that wrote Joyful Noise and be the one who, because of my position, is responsible for millions of fans not being able to hear Katy Perry play Dark Horse. I would be going to her saying, okay, we won, you're going to pay me the money, let's reach an agreement so that you can keep playing it.
Yeah, and even avoid appeal.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, and Katy Perry, what she's going to do is, if something happens, she's just going to stop playing it. In fact, who is the singer that stopped playing a lot of their hits?
Taylor Swift.
No, it was someone that refused to because they won a lawsuit. Someone won a lawsuit against them, and if every time they had to pay someone some money.
Well, I know.
Oh, I know what it was.
I know this happened with Aerosmith. A lot of stuff in their early catalog they don't play because of a dispute they had with their original manager,
right?
And they won't play it. And he is very happy. He says, "Yep, they don't play it because if I ever hear that song played, they owe me money." So they don't play from their original catalog.
Creedence Clearwater Revival is now Creedence Clearwater Revisited. John Fogerty can't even use his original band name. You know, I mean, a lot of that. But I'm wondering if Katy Perry might have to say, hey, you guys remember this song as the one that I got in an argument with over with Flame, and publicize him at each of her concerts and then play it. I mean, if it's about publicity, maybe she could do something like that and not keep paying him.
Blurred lines.
Yeah.
That was what I was also thinking about. Blurred lines.
Yeah.
Was that Pharrell? Was that the
That
Pharrell
was
one?
Pharrell and
Anyway, it was one of the Pharrell songs.
Here's one of the things that I think is going to play in the future, maybe to counter these type lawsuits. There's recent research out of Melbourne, Australia. There's an abstract called The Universals of World's Musics. And basically what Joseph Jordania and Stephen Brown did, these researchers, they have proven or researched and found that over about 4 different type of musical categories, there are what's called 70 universals, which means over 4 types, there's about 70 different types of beats and stuff that humans are hardwired to listen to that fall within the range of not only what we like to listen to, but are typically created. And that's why so many songs sound alike. They're not necessarily all unique. And so Katy Perry could absolutely be correct in saying, I've never heard that song and I came up with this. And those folks saying, but we created it. This paper would come back and say, you guys have both tapped into a very limited range of things that all humans tap into. That's why your music sounds alike. Nobody copied. It was just there. And if this gets legs, that may undercut the copyright issue because now it's an issue of biology and hardwiring and not necessarily stealing something.
There were other defendants besides Katy Perry, so there could be I forgot the other guy's name, but he also is responsible.
The production and writing team. Yeah. Right.
Oh, okay.
So also though, what legally what's pending is a motion before the court. So when a jury comes down with a verdict, the court can overturn that verdict. And so there's a motion pending before that judge right now saying that there's no way that any reasonable jury should have found copyright infringement in this case. And the judge is looking at the evidence and still going to rule on that.
Really, the idea behind that is your verdict has to be based on the evidence.
Right.
And if it looks like you reached your verdict because, oh, you know what, the poor songwriter and Katy Perry's worth $330 million, let's throw him a bone.
Right.
If that's why it happened and it wasn't based on the evidence, then it should be a judgment notwithstanding the verdict in Perry's favor. That's what the judge is looking at.
Yeah, no, that's going to be interesting to find out what's going to happen there. Appeals. Just the lawyers making more money. We're going to talk to you in the third hour. If you can't join us in the third hour, go ahead and go to our website, www.radiolawtalk.com. Click on the live button, and you can listen to us live or our podcast. You can listen to our podcast after, next Tuesday. We'll be back.
This is Radio Law Talk, and there's still more to come.